Hey y'all, it's Zai here with the Command Her Network, and I want to welcome you all back to the Passion Tea, where we explore the lives and careers of Caribbean and African women. On today's episode, I am speaking with a very special guest who I believe is going to blow up this year. Taiyel is bringing her angelic voice combined with her Niger and NYC swag to the Afro-fusion scene. 2 years ago, she released her EP entitled T617, Taiyel, 6 songs in 17 minutes, which received positive reviews. Now Taiyel is on the Lagos circuit, working on her upcoming album BTS. Taiyel is here to make a statement that she will be one of the greatest African female artists in history. Please join me in welcoming the sharp gal, Miss Necessary, Miss Ida. Give them hot hots. Taiyel, 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 Taiyel.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate that.
How far? How far now? You did.
We did, Niger.
So good to see you. What does your name mean? I wanted to ask you that.
My name is actually a combination of my
Uh,
first name and my last name.
mm-hmm,
My first name is Taye,
mm-hmm.
that's Taiye, and my
Okay.
last name is Lawanthan. So it was kind of like a combination, like the first name with just one letter from my last name, and it's still more like it's still me. Just we put it together in such a great way that it still defines who I am, but in the artistic light that I would love to see myself in. And it
Yeah.
was just natural when I first came up with the name. It just felt like, yes, that's the one.
Okay. I love it. I love the name. It's very unique. And honestly, at first, I thought that was your whole first name. Love the way you put
Yeah, it sounds like it, right?
it. Yeah. Well, Tayo, I
So,
am so grateful to have you on the show today. I came across your music last month on Apple Music, and
wow.
I actually discovered Mukulu on the Amapiano playlist. And girl, I was impressed with your flow on the song. So of course I had to stalk all your other music. When I tell you I had
Thank you.
Necessary and I had Your Body on repeat for days. I could not
Wow.
get enough of your music. I love it. Yes.
I'm super glad to hear that. I'm glad that people are discovering my music and people are definitely like accepting it, loving it, and just understanding that people do create different vibes.
Mm,
Sometimes you have to go beyond the popular demand and just
yeah.
kind of listen to what's on the come up, because
Mm,
we have a lot of buzz and talent on the come up like me. And
mm,
I'm just excited. I'm super excited for more people like you that heard my music and you're like, wow, who's this girl? Like, she got something interesting. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to be
mm.
on your platform, to reach out to more people. It means a lot to me. So I appreciate that.
Of course. I'm really intrigued just by your overall presence because the music scene is a recent endeavor for you. Tell us more about how you even found yourself in the Afro-fusion space.
Wow. We actually didn't start as an Afro-fusion artist. I initially started my music career like in the basics as a rapper because I
Mm,
was kind of good with words and I had a little bit of poetic like abilities. And
yeah.
when I was doing that, I discovered that I had a gift for like putting words together. So with
Mhm.
time, I kind of put rhymes together, but I realized that I really wanted to be in tune with my Afro, like my Africanness. Like I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I could be an hip hop artist, but that's not really who I want to be. I
Yeah.
need to be able to tap into this my roots. So I started to listen a whole lot more to
Mm,
like my own music from my
yeah.
culture and other African cultures. Because I grew up in the United States, you understand? So I grew up in the energy of listening to the American music, like even though I was exposed to some African music, but it wasn't like by choice. It
Yeah.
was more what my parents kind of like played for me growing up, my aunties, my mom, my dad. But at some point in stage when I fell into the music thing, I needed to just kind of explore on my own and
Mhm.
discover myself. So I got to discover the kind of African music, or would I say, when I went to Nigeria to listen, I'm like, this is the Nigerian music I love to listen to. This is the
Mm,
type. So
in that love that I found for the sounds that I enjoyed, I was able to find myself in there. So
Yeah.
I would listen to like dancehall. That's like, because I consider Jamaican music, dancehall music is still some sort of African. So I would listen to that. I would
Mhm.
listen to the Nigerian music, the high lives, the Fuji, like the Afro beats pop,
Yeah.
like all of that. So I was able to actually find myself in a fusion of a little bit of like would I say dancehall
Yes.
and a little bit of like the Afro beats. So
Mm-hmm.
I put that together and I found myself in there. So
Mm-hmm.
I have some new songs coming out on my incoming album that you guys are really gonna get to see and understand what I mean by this sound because I haven't really explored it with my previous releases.
Okay.
So with this new album, I'm actually really going into that a whole lot more. So
Mm-hmm.
I found that Afro-fusion from really just listening to what I love the best, which is a whole lot of dancehall, a whole lot of African, like Afrobeat music. And I did listen to a lot of Brenda Fassie, so I have that influence in my music. So that sound is really something that I want you guys to be excited to hear it. I don't think you've even heard it because you've only heard like one or two of it. And it's still like now I'm really going into that person. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be like somebody else because I'm versatile. I could do a whole lot of sounds. But
Mm-hmm.
this time around, I'm really going into that fusion, that Afro fusion. So please be on the lookout for the album. You're gonna hear something different, something very interesting that a lot of people have never heard before. It's not coming out of anybody else's catalog, only
And
mine.
I hear that influence of dance hall mixed with the reggae and the Afro beats in your music. You were born in Brooklyn, right? In Brooklyn, New York?
Actually, I wasn't born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Brooklyn from a very young age. I was born and bred in Nigeria, but I left Nigeria at a very young age and
Uh-huh.
spent most of my like youth in America. So my mindset is really like the American Brooklyn youth. So, but I had the Nigerian upbringing, of course, because I did go to like middle school
Yeah.
out here. So yeah, but high school and everything else was out there.
I'm a Jersey girl and I can see a New York swag from a mile away. Like when I when I saw one of your interviews that you talked about growing up in New York, I said, "Yeah, I see that NYC swag. There's nothing that compares to what you see in New York. I feel like New Yorkers are just able to create their own flavor, their own style. Even if a space already exists, they just add an extra 10 on it. So I definitely see that influence in you. So now you're living and thriving in Lagos, which is such a crazy time to be in Nigeria right now in the midst of an intense election season, which seems to be
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, seems to be changing each day. Every day there's a new article that just becomes more and more confusing. How do you take care of yourself and give yourself a peace of mind in the midst of everything that's going on in Nigeria right now?
Well, I just actually got back from the US like
Mhm,
about 5 days ago.
mhm.
I was around in Nigeria for like about 4 or 5 months before
Okay.
going back to the US. So for me, when I'm in Nigeria,
Mhm.
I try to be as much as like focused as possible on my music. There's a lot of distractions because the nightlife, the social life is very, very huge out here. And there's a lot of things that I wouldn't want to say is not necessarily civilized, but it's not the same way I'm used to in the
Yeah,
US. So I had to adapt to a whole lot of like the fact that things are not going to be organized the same way it is out there, but there's still a way to get it done.
yeah.
So it took a whole lot of learning process and just observing and just being patient
Mhm.
to be able to be out here and just be calm and still be able to be level minded.
Mhm.
So it took time, I'm not gonna lie, but I had like thankfully I had the assistance of like my manager to just kind of like put me through and just be like, okay, approach this way. And I had the protection and security so I don't have to be exposed to unnecessary kind of like violence or danger. So
Yeah,
majority of the time I spend my time indoors.
yeah.
Even if I don't have to be in the studio, I rather just not go out if I'm not being invited to
Mhm.
somewhere, except I really need to go visit someone or go get some work done.
Mhm.
So in Nigeria, I think when you have something that you're doing that's important, you need to stay focused on it. Don't get distracted because if you go out and you don't plan it, you could get stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
First of all, because they
Mhm.
have huge traffic. That's Lagos for you. So To be out here, you have to really plan yourself, like where you
Yeah.
live, who you be around, where you work at, all of that. So it's been a process, but with patience and understanding and just knowing that I'm somewhere else and not trying to force majority of my American mentality
Mm-hmm.
on my decisions out here, I've
Mm-hmm.
been able to adjust. I'm
Yeah.
still adjusting, but I have been able to.
Love that. I love your focus and your determination. I think you are just setting yourself on the right path. Um, I wanted to ask you about something you said in an interview that you did last year with Buzz,
Yeah.
Boom Buzz Global. You said when it comes to collaborating with other artists, you really want to work with the females in Afrobeats. You said we are one. Since entering the music scene, how have you been embraced by other female artists in the industry?
Funny thing, I'm gonna be honest.
Mhm.
I don't know
Mhm.
the status of that
Yeah.
because I haven't really like gotten a chance to meet up with majority of them. But
Okay.
I'm at the process whereby I wasn't in a hurry
Mhm.
because one, I was just purely new to the scene.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of like, you know, when they say you need to have your own leverage,
Yeah.
like you kind of need to put in that work
Mhm.
so that by the time you meet these people, they can understand that you have been working.
Mhm.
There's something you have to offer. So I didn't just come in the industry with no music and just was like, okay, I want to make friends. I want this person
Mhm.
to know me, to be my girl and take pictures. And I kind of just waited, you know, not. I'm at the point and stage now that I can do that this year because
Mm.
I have put out three music.
Yeah.
I think I did three songs in Nigeria. And that's a catalog for like, okay, I've been out here. I know what's going on. I've done some shows. I've met some people. Now I started to make some friends. Like I know a few people. I know Gucci. I don't know if I know a few people, and I met a few artists. I met some of the older artists, like
Yeah.
YJ, Omaomi, and I've been introduced to them. But officially this year, I would like to work with like the younger ones, and I think like with the music and the album I'm putting out, that would give me a good look to say,
Mhm.
oh, that's who's this new girl? She's just coming out. She got a whole lot of music to offer. She's great at it. I think it's just someone that you should do music with. So I feel comfortable now, because when I was in the US and I just came with whatever I had out there, I
Mhm.
felt like it was so different that they might not understand what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
I had to really come out here and understand like what's the energy like? What's the music that they want to hear? Like, how can I find myself in that sound? And that's what I just did recently with
Mhm.
my new album. I found myself in a way that I still didn't lose myself and I
Mhm.
still can relate and reach out to
Mhm.
the people out here and the rest of the world. So I'm looking forward to really actually collaborating with a whole lot of females now that I feel very comfortable in my my body of work. And it's something that let's just go for it. 2023, you're gonna see a whole lot of that.
I definitely want to get into the creative process behind your upcoming album. But before that, have to ask you a question about Mukulu. You were able to get Runtown on a feature and Mastercraft, who is the maestro, to produce the track. Can you tell us the story of how that all came about?
Okay. You see, I like to point out something about what you just said right now.
Hmm.
I know the title says Run Town.
Uh-huh.
It's a trick actually.
Ah.
We were trying to because the song really talks about like coming to a place and just owning the like owning the territory and just being
Hmm.
able to like stand your ground in there. We
Hmm.
did want to feature Runtown on it
Yeah.
because we felt, oh, maybe he would be great on it, but we did not feature him on it. It was a creative strategy to
Uh-huh.
kind of promote the song with
Yeah.
the title,
Yeah.
because the title is Mukulu, which is it's an African word. It's a
Yeah.
slang, like party, be happy, dance.
Mhm.
But the English title, like the acronym, would be Run Town. Like, oh, she's running the town. So it goes, check the countdown. No, at the top the charts.
Mhm.
I know be Usain Bolt. I they run the town.
And
So something like I'm not Usain Bolt, but I'm running the town. So it
mhm.
was a very creative strategy we
Yeah.
knew people were gonna think Runtown is on the song, so that was
Yeah.
like a great way to actually get people to be like excited to hear who this is. Because I'm a new artist, so I gotta implore like whatever I can to get people to see
Yeah.
me. That's just how it goes. There's a lot of artists right now. You need to work double time
Yeah.
so people can notice you.
Yeah.
So that's what we did with that. Mastercraft producing it is something that I always was like, yeah, if I'm gonna do songs in Nigeria, I need to go for the best producers. I need to go for like the best of everything. So
Mhm.
I did start working with Mastercraft from
Mhm.
another song,
Mhm.
Tickle Me, and we made that happen. It was a great success. And with this time around, I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm on piano. I need to have the same energy, the same like creativity, the same like quality of work.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we did that with Mastercraft again. And he's great at piano too. He's one of the best in Nigeria making piano and beats in general. So that's the reason why I decided to do that with him.
Yeah, so you tricked us with the Runtown. That was a good trick. That
I
was
did. I did. It's a trick. I know you guys were like, where's Runtown? But I really sang the entire track.
yeah. I'm like, listen, I was like, okay, maybe he provided a background vocal. I was all for it.
No.
The song
Background vocal.
the
Yeah.
song was phenomenal. So I said, hey, well, look, I may not be able to pinpoint his particular voice, but it's great. And I was actually kind of surprised too that you had gotten Runtown on the feature, because Runtown to me is like the male version of Rihanna in the music scene. He puts out some incredible music, and then I feel like he disappears for a good while, and then he just pops
Yeah.
and drops another electrifying album or song. So I was like, wow, she got
He
Runtime.
does that.
Oh, that was good. That was a very smart marketing move. Nice job. So
Thanks. Even with the artwork, we did something smart too with that. Like the
yeah,
original artwork that we submitted, it has a whole lot. It's like a chart, like a Billboard charts. So
yeah,
we have the music, like my picture in the title of the song on like number one,
yeah.
and then we have other artists, but we kind of blurred the picture. So it's
Mhm.
like people will be like, "Whoa, what's she doing on them charts? She's not even that big."
Yeah,
So it was all just very strategic. The
yeah.
entire song was like planned and it's doing great. It's doing super great.
It's a great song. Great I'm a piano track, because it's hard to jump on that type of beat, to make the transition over from just general Afro beats just over to I'm a piano. And I think he
Yeah,
flowed on the track effortlessly, and it was great. I loved it. So now you've got your album that is coming out, your second album. Your first album was called T617, which is Taiyel in
yeah.
6 minutes,
Six
six
minutes and
songs,
17 songs.
17
I
songs.
mean,
Yeah,
6 songs and 17
17 minutes.
minutes. My bad.
Six songs and 17 minutes. Yes.
Yeah.
So and now you're getting ready to release this second album, which is called, do we have a name yet?
It's gonna be called BTS.
Yeah.
You're the first person I'm giving this exclusively. It's Blood, Tears, and Sweat.
Ah.
Okay, it's a double album. We
Mhm.
have the Blood, Tears, and Sweat, and then we have
Yeah.
the behind the scene. So it means the same
Oh,
thing. If you check that, it's like BTS,
yeah.
Blood, Tears, Sweat, behind the scene. So we have some songs that go under the Blood, Tears, Sweat, where I just talk about like the struggle, the grind, the
Mhm.
success, and the fate and the hope that I have for the future. And of
Mhm.
course, I have like the behind the scene, which
Mhm.
is just like, okay, this is like what goes on behind the
Yeah.
scene in the middle of all the hustling and the grinding. We do
Mhm.
have some party, we do have some good times, we have some like fun times. So you'll find like fun songs and
Mhm.
you'll find like really inspirational and motivational songs on the same project. And the
Mhm.
creative process really has just been me just being myself. Very
Mhm.
importantly, being myself. And like I said in the beginning, like I had to find my true sound and
Mhm.
kind of find like a middle ground that I had to be myself and still be able to relate to the
Yeah.
culture. Now that I'm inside the culture, I'm not outside the culture and trying to be in the culture. I'm in the culture right now and just being it.
Yes.
So I had to kind of observe, listen, learn, and then start to make music all over again. And that's what I did with this album. I'm just really, really expressing myself in the most authentic I have been in like my entire music career.
Love it, love it. When can
Yeah.
we expect for BTS to be released?
definitely like looking forward to it being out next month in February. I don't have a date, but I'm looking forward to February for it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Are you going to be touring this year?
Yes, I will be touring. I already got invites to Switzerland, to the US, to London,
Mhm.
Germany, a couple places that are like inviting me. And I just want the album to come out first so I can definitely do the songs on the album
Okay.
for the fans and all that.
Songs that any features that we may recognize for any of the songs on the album?
I wouldn't want to give that away yet, to be honest.
Just
If
one.
I decide to give away the features and like say we like don't pick it on the track, then it will be like, oh, she told me so and so is gonna be there.
Oh
So I
yeah.
wouldn't want to give that away. I think that could just be a surprise for you guys. Like if that's okay. Like you guys leave that to be the surprise of the album.
Okay. All right. We'll take that. But Runtown will not be on the album, right?
You never know. He just might. He just
Okay.
might be on the album. You
Okay.
never know.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. I am so excited, Taiyel. I really feel like this is your season. This is your moment. This is a new flavor that we need. And there is just
Mhm.
so much space for the women to take over. This is the ladies' time. It's all about y'all. So I'm really excited about what you're about to bring to the music scene. Tell us where we can find you on social media, how we can stay up to date about your upcoming album release, your tours, everything in the world of Taiyel.
Okay. Definitely gotta let you guys know that I'm on all social media platforms. You
Hmm.
can find me on Instagram at I am Taiyel. You can find me on Twitter at I am Taiyel. On Facebook, Taiyel Music. On YouTube, I have a channel, Taiyel. I have
Hmm.
the record label has a channel too, Denguli Entertainment. And of
Hmm.
course, you can just always like send me like emails if you need to talk to me directly. But social media is definitely the best place to reach out to me. I always reply my DMs. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on like I have everything. I have Snapchat. I have Snapchat too. So you can definitely hit me up there. And follow me, give you a follow back, send me some love. I send you some love back, and we can just be friends.
Love it. Love your spirit, Taiyel. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I wish you best of luck this year.
Thank you. I really appreciate you getting me on your platform. It means a lot to me that women are doing this for women, even on the international space. That's a big deal. I hope that your platform gets bigger and people are more like aware of it and people just appreciate it because you're doing something that a lot of people are not doing. So thank you for this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Blood, tears, and sweat. What better way for Taiyel to describe the sacrifices that she has made as an artist? And we appreciate her gifting us with the behind the scenes story of that sacrifice in an album. Taiyel's moment is here, and it's time that we make a throne for her in the Afro-fusion genre. If you're a fan of Taiyel's music like I am, drop your favorite Taiyel song in the comments below. And if you haven't had the chance to check out Taiyel's music yet, I'll leave her channel link in the description box. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.